All right, so we're going to be replacing the battery on this iPhone 6, all right? So this is an old phone, so I'm not sure many people will need this video, but we're gonna start by using a Pentalobe 0.8 or a P2 screwdriver to remove the two bottom screws from the phone, all right? These are the two right next to the charge port. Don't mix all the screws up because they are different size, shapes, and lengths, and if you mix them up, you're gonna end up damaging your phone. And if you're wondering why my hand's all dirty like this, I was working on a printer and it got ink all over and it doesn't wash off. Alright, so once you remove those two screws, we're gonna pop this cover up. If your screen is okay, you can just use a suction cup to do this. Basically just stick the suction cup on, of course, and then just pull this up. Alright, and this is for iPhone 6 only, but I don't like using suction cups because I feel it puts a lot of strain on the glass or the screen. So what I do is I get a thin pry tool like this, and I just get between the metal frame and the screen itself, and then go along, and I kind of twist my tool at the sides. Alright, same thing, go down this side, and then just twist it up slightly to pry out the screen. Let me actually use this foam pad. It'll help with the weird brightness issue. Okay, so hopefully this will help because I'm working on a darker colored device. All right, once you go around and pry this up, you want to be careful with the front area because you can, if you insert the tool too far, you can damage it. So it's better to pry up from the sides because there's this metal rail that kind of helps protect it. All right, so anyways, let me zoom in some more. All right, once you pull that up, you just lift the screen up like this. If you want, you can work on it with the screen like this, but then you want something to prevent the screen from falling over. So you can use like a computer, or not a computer, you can, well, like a laptop or something, or you can use like the box, or if you want, you can just take the whole thing out. All right, so if you want to work on it like that, you can kind of use the box to kind of help hold this up like this. Okay, if you have a taller box, it would work better, and then that will make it so you can work on it without risking like this screen part falling over and damaging itself. Okay, all right, so now we're going to use a Phillips PH0 or JIS0. All right, and we're going to remove the two screws down here. Let me go up so you can see it better. All right, people like these videos in landscape view, even though phones are sideways, so it's kind of, I mean, vertical portrait, so it's hard to kind of film this. So let me see if I can film it sideways like this, or if it's just gonna make it harder for people to know what's going on, because people don't work on phones sideways like this. But anyways, lift up that metal plate. All right, set that aside. Again, keep the screws in order. You don't want to get them mixed up. And then what we're going to do is disconnect the battery here. If the phone was on, you probably want to turn it off first. I actually left it on, but yeah, usually what you want to do is turn it off first in case you accidentally drop something metal on here and cause some damage. And once you turn off the phone, you want to give it a few seconds to make sure it completely turns off. Okay. So I'm going to end up taking it out of the box because I do need to work on it like with this. So it would actually work best if you have like a laptop that you can kind of rest it on. Let me see if I can grab my laptop and do that, and I'll show you what I mean. All right, so I'm going to move that aside. Grab my laptop. Okay, so grab the laptop. Oh, why is it turning itself back on? Didn't mean to turn it back on. But anyways, grab your computer, and you can just have it like this, and then you can rest the phone on it like that. Oops, let me turn this back off. Okay, so again, you can use like your laptop or, yeah, to kind of rest the screen on like that. And that will make it so you can work on it without worrying about knocking it over or anything. All right. Okay, so once the phone is off, there's this connector here. After we remove that plate, you just want to get underneath. You can use a plastic pry tool. I'm using my fingernails. You know, again, my fingers are dirty because I was working on a printer, so don't worry about that. All right, pulled that connector up, then you press and hold the power button for about 10 to 15 seconds to drain any power. This will prevent accidentally damaging other components while you're working on the phone. Okay, now that we got that, we're going to remove this, what do you call, haptic feedback motor. So there's 2 screws holding this in place, so we're going to remove those 2. All right, we'll just remove those 2 screws as well. Okay, again, keep the screws in orders because they are different size, shape, and lengths. Okay, pull the haptic feedback motor out. Set that aside. When you put it back, make sure you line up the springs with the 2 gold pads there. All right, so the reason we took that out is because we're now going to pull the adhesive out from under the battery. This is a little bit difficult. If you break this adhesive, then you're going to have a really difficult time getting out the battery. But basically, you peel this piece off, okay? After you peel that, you want to pull it straight back as you can. You don't want to pull it up if you can help it. You want to try and keep it flat, okay? And then you just keep pulling it. Uh-oh, see, it tore. And that usually happens on these phones when they're older models. So I'm going to actually take the screen out to make it easier to work on because now it's going to be a pain. So I'm going to take out the screen connectors here. Still using the PH or JIS0 screwdriver, okay? We're going to take off the screen connectors. So this is pretty common with these older models because the adhesive, it gets more brittle over time or loses its elasticity. Okay, so it's very common for these adhesives to tear like that, and then you're going to have a really tough time getting the battery out. I hope the other side comes out okay. We'll see if it does, but yeah. Alright, so we removed all 5 screws there. Then we just take this metal plate off, set that aside, again keep the screws in order, and then we just pop up these connectors just like this. Alright, same thing with this other one. Pop that up, all right, and then there's one more connector under here. We're going to pop that up as well. There we go. Oh, oops, there's another one here. All right, and pop that up. So there's actually 4 connectors. Haven't done iPhone 6 in a while. All right, I'm going to set my laptop aside since I'm not using that to hold it up anymore. Okay. All right, so now we got this. We're going to try and remove this battery adhesive. So hopefully this one's not going to tear just like the other one, because then we're going to have a bad time. All right, grab the adhesive and then just pull it back. It feels like it's just going to tear. It's not releasing at all. Oh, there we go. Okay, again, you want to try and pull it straight back as much as you can. It helps to kind of push the adhesive down while you're pulling it. Here you can see it's getting little holes in it, so you want to be very careful because this adhesive, when it's old, it's really brittle and breaks really easily. Okay, so just like this. Peel that out. Again, it helps, so I'm just pulling this all the way straight back like this while I'm pushing this down to try and get it to be more flat while I'm pulling it back. Uh-oh, it got a hole in it. I hope it's not going to tear. Uh-oh, please, please come out. So that's another issue. The bottom of the battery has some adhesive on it that it gets cut on it sometimes, and then it makes it stick to it and peels it out. So, but we're just going to keep trying to peel as much as we can. All right. Oh no. All right, so I guess that's all that's going to peel out. Now we're going to use some tweezers if we can. All right, let's see if we can grab this stuff out. So if we're lucky, we can use the tweezers to kind of grab the adhesive more and then continue peeling it. Again, while I'm pulling it, I'm pushing down to try and make the adhesive more flat. Okay. Oh, am I getting both pieces of adhesive at the same time? Nice. Okay. I'm getting lucky. Both pieces are coming out. There we go. So I got lucky. All right, it looks like both pieces came out. Once you get both pieces of adhesive completely out like that, you should be able to lift the battery up and it pops out really easily. If that didn't work, then you're going to want to use some plastic pry tools or metal pry tools, and you're going to have to pry it up. And if you can, try and grab a hold of the adhesive again and keep pulling it, because it works a lot better than trying to just pry the whole thing out. And here you can see this adhesive kind of also caused problems. It gets caught on that adhesive and then it peels itself, sticks to the other adhesive. All right, so here's the replacement battery. Okay. So to remove this, it has this plastic stuff on it. Just hold that and then push this through. Once you push that, you can grab the battery out, okay? Just like that. All right, let's see if I can see what the original 3.82, 6.91. I don't know what that multiplies into. You have to multiply both together, and that's what you get for the milliamp hours. I can't do that off the top of my head. It's about 7 times 4, a little bit less. But anyways, what you want to do now is, to make this the easiest way to install, you want to connect the battery. Okay, once you connect the battery, push the battery against the side of the board, so that way you can make sure it drops in flush like that. Okay, and that helps bend this wire to the right position. All right, after you do that, because now we added power to the board, we're gonna have to pop the connector out. All right, take the battery out and then press and hold the power button for 10 to 15 seconds again. Okay. Then what we're gonna want is the adhesive strips that came with it. Usually when you buy the battery, it's gonna come with the adhesive strips. Let me see, where'd they go? Okay, that should be long enough. All right, so here we go. We got the adhesive strips here. Let's see what else. Okay, so we got the adhesive strips, and the way you want to install the adhesive strips is, first, of course, make sure you have the battery right side up. So, or you know which side's the right side up. So we want to have the bottom facing up, so the connector is facing upwards. And you want to find this side, okay, the side with the extra little adhesive strips. So what we're going to do now is we're going to peel this blue part away from the pink one. And the way you do that, you fold it all the way back, and then while you're pushing down on the fold, you peel it up. If you don't do this, you're usually going to get bubbles underneath the adhesive strips, and you don't want that to happen. All right, so just keep doing that. There we go. Uh-oh, it's stuck to the other side of the blue piece. That's not supposed to happen either. Okay, so since it's stuck to itself like that, we're going to have to be very careful, because now it's going to make the adhesive thicker, and we don't really want it to be that thick. So what we're going to do, we're going to stick this over this way, okay? And then, since we don't want the bottom or the top to be thicker, I'm going to make it so the folds are on the bottom edge of the battery. All right, and then we're just going to stick it on like that. Okay, then we're going to flip this over, and then we're going to peel these blue parts off. And these are going to be those little tabs that allow you to peel off the adhesive when you need to. So again, I'm making the folded part of this adhesive stick to the bottom of the battery, because there's more empty space there that won't cause any problems. Okay, so we're going to peel off those little blue tabs. All right, it's kind of stuck. There we go. Static, those blue tabs keep sticking to me, they won't let go. Okay, and then once you do that, you can use the pink one to fold it over the top, just like this. All right, and then again, we're going to peel this up same way. Just roll this over, and then press it down while you're pulling it back, and this should keep the adhesive as flat on the battery as possible. Okay, I messed up on the edge, but other than that, it's good. So here you can see you want this as flat as possible. If it gets like bubbles or creases on the battery area, when you put the phone together, you can actually cause stress, pressure on the screen. So here you can see the part that's all lumpy is actually on the bottom, so that shouldn't cause a problem. Okay, and then what you want to do, we're going to put back the haptic feedback motor, or taptic feedback motor, whatever it's called. I think it's the haptic feedback motor. All right, make sure the gold things line up and go against the little connectors down there. All right, and we're going to just put these screws back in. Just like that. Oh no, there's a bug in here. Alright, tighten it down. Alright, there we go. So next, what we're going to do is put back the screen, of course. So grab the screen, and then we're going to reattach the connectors. Alright, you want to put the one at the top first. Make sure you get it lined up right. You can tell by if you move your finger over it, it should stay in place. And then just push that connector down. Next one, same thing. Push that connector down. Again, same thing. Push it down. This one can be a little bit trickier, but same idea. Try and get it in place, move your finger around, and then push it down. All right. There we go. So we got, also this is basically a partial like screen replacement video. All right, so we're gonna put this back on. Gonna get these screws. And you wanna loosely fit the screws, okay? When you first put it back, just to make sure everything lines up. Okay, you don't want to tighten it all the way down. Second screw. Okay. All right. Third screw. Fourth screw. And the fifth screw. All right, now we can tighten them all in place now that we got them all in. All right, so now we've got all those screws in. We're gonna put the battery in place. What you want to do is get the battery connector in first. All right. Plug it in, make sure it's good. And then once you got that plugged in, again, push the battery over to the board side with the board to squeeze that cable, and then drop that battery in. All right, just like that. And then what you want to do, make sure the phone turns on. It's turning on, so we're good to go. Sometimes the battery will be like too empty to turn on, so you might have to plug it in. And then now we can put back this metal plate for the battery. Okay. Grab that screw. Again, you want to just loosely put it first. Get the metal plate all lined up. Other screw. Okay, tighten it down. All right, and then, oops, let me turn the screen off. And then we tuck the top of the phone screen in first, so you have to have the bottom up like this. All right, and then you tuck the top in, slide it forward, and then you want to get the bottom in Okay, make sure you kind of, sometimes you have to like pull the middle out to push the bottom down so it bows a little bit. That way the connector, it'll pull itself together, and then you can push the rest in. All right, and there we go. And now we just have to put back the last 2 screws, which are the P2 or pentalobe 0.8 screws. All right. And that's pretty much all there is to replacing the battery on the iPhone 6. Hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, please like and subscribe. Help others find my videos. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. All right. Bye.